The last time Fetty Wap sang a song before this album, it was 2021, and he was about to be arrested at Rolling Loud, New York. For the next 4 years, he did not sing, not one note, not in the shower, not at all. Jim Jones asked him directly, "Not even in the shower?" He answered, "Not one time." He came home January 8th, 2026 with literally nothing, his own words. "I came home with nothing, bro. I ain't have nothing. I ain't had no clothes. I ain't had nowhere to stay. The storage units got hit, all the cars gone, jewelry gone. He was gonna stay at his sister's house. He had 2 HVAC courses left to finish. The plan was to ask one of his guys for a van, hire a few dudes, start a business, expand to Florida, open another van. That was the plan. Music was not on the agenda." 2 days before he came home, a close friend, someone he had done legitimate business with for years, called him and said one sentence, "Bro, you ain't coming home like that." He sent a private jet. He had jewelry waiting. He gave Fetty an apartment and a G-Wagon and a couple dollars to start, welcome home gift. And in Fetty's own words, "Just to have somebody that had that much faith in me, now I can't even let myself down," Jim Jones asked him directly. "If you wouldn't have got locked up, would you have got back to the music?" He said no. "I completely lost the feeling. I didn't even know how to do music no more. I was chasing 679. I was chasing Trap Queen. Everybody forgot. The 2010s, the 2015s, no Fetty Wap there. Prison saved his music. The Friend saved his return. And the album you're about to walk through, 17 tracks recorded in 13 days against everyone's advice, exists because of 2 people who refused to let him disappear." This is Zavier, not Fetty, the man behind the name. 6.5 months. That is how long Fetty Wap was in solitary confinement. Inside that stretch, there was a 90-day window where a hurricane locked the facility down and nobody left their cell. 3 of those months, he could not make a phone call, he could not send mail. The mail trucks were not coming, he was not singing, he was not practicing music. He had decided he was done with music. And inside that hole with no pen and no booth and no audience, he wrote 7 songs entirely in his head. He had to memorize them sentence by sentence so he would not forget them by the time he got home. One of those songs is the album Closer. He calls it Dear Zavier, his own quote. "It's just me telling myself, I'm sorry for doubting myself. I wrote that while I was in solitary confinement for 6.5 months. While he was in there, his sister drove between 6.5 and 9 hours, 8 separate times, 7 months pregnant, just to bring him chicken wings on a Sunday. Every phone call, every commissary. He did not lose contact with the world because she would not let him. He used the 4 years to read. He says he tightened up his contractual reading. He learned how to pull his own files, his own bank statements, his own paperwork. So that when he got home, nobody could play with him again. He went in at 140 pounds. He came home at 225. The bid was punishment. He turned it into a workshop, and he is honest about what it interrupted. His exact words, "I was crashing out, bro. I was going nowhere real fast. The cell did not break him. It was the only thing that could have caught him." If you want to understand the album, look at who is on it. Every single feature on Zavier comes from Fetty's actual life. Not industry connections, not chart strategy, people he grew up with, people from his block. His sisters Divinity and Ymanie sing on White Roses. They are not session vocalists, they are family. His brother Rob McCoy opened Spot Back. Rob is one of the reasons he started doing music in the first place. Then look at the rest. Monty appears on N Love. Fetty met Monty at the Dominican Parade in Paterson in 2006 or 2007 through a homie's house party. That is the same night he met Hardy and Nitty at Q Studio on Bunker Hill. Hardy is now Hard Luck on Real Ones. The same circle 20 years later. Albee Al, also on Real Ones, is from the same Jersey scene. Rob McCoy is family. Even the producers stay in the network. Peoples, Shy Boogs, Chinny, Says Beats. The only outside guests are Wiz Khalifa on Like a Taylor, Tink on Nasty, Honey Baby on Real Love, GHerbo on The Closer, and MaxB on BossDon. And MaxB was inside for 16 years. He is also a New Jersey artist coming home. He fits the thesis. The musical roots run even deeper than the block. Fetty's grandfather was an apostle. The man had his own church. Fetty's mother is a singer. His father plays drums. His brother is a singer. Both of his sisters are singers. He grew up inside a literal family choir, and this album, in his own words, has my brother and my 2 sisters on it too. Every industry person told him to put out one single work it, then drop the album. He told them no. He told them he was going to drop 17 singles at the same time and let the audience decide. Block strategy over chart strategy. April 4th, 2026, his first show home, the Wellmont Theater in Montclair, sold out. The block answered first. Track 1, The very first word out of his mouth on this comeback album is right back. Think about that timing. He came home with literally nothing, storage units gone, cars gone, jewelry gone. He was supposed to be studying HVAC, sleeping at his sister's house, borrowing a van, and the first thing he says on the record is a love song about coming back to someone. On the surface, he is talking to a woman, but knowing the timeline, he is also talking to the music, to the fans, to everybody who counted him out over the last 4 years, and to himself. He is making a promise to all of them at once. This was one of the 7 songs he composed entirely in his head while incarcerated. No pen, no phone, no booth. He had to memorize it sentence by sentence, so the words would still be there when he finally walked out. By the time he got to a real microphone, he had been sitting with this song for months. That is why it does not sound rushed or oversold. It sounds rehearsed inside his own skull. He did not come back loud. He did not come back arrogant. He did not come back chasing his old hits. He came back with a quiet promise of devotion and let you figure out who he was really talking to. The album opens not with a flex, but with a return. Most people see this title and think Taylor Swift. It is not. The chorus is the giveaway. Camo shorts, Chuck tees, feeling like a tailor. Chuck tees are Chuck Taylors. The Converse sneakers. Taylor is also Taylor Gang. Wiz Khalifa's whole movement out of Pittsburgh. Both meanings hit at the same time inside one bar. That is Fetty doing wordplay the way he used to. The other thing happening on this record is a stylistic flex. Fetty has said he has been listening to Wiz since Prince of the City 1. He thinks Wiz does not get enough credit. So he made a track where he channels late 2000s Wiz energy front to back. He name-checks Snoop Dogg and Tommy Chong inside the verses. He is fully in that lane. Then Wiz Khalifa shows up and closes with Taylor Gang or Die. Hitmaka produced the beat, which is its own moment. On an album where almost every collaborator comes from Paterson or the surrounding New Jersey scene, Wiz Khalifa is one of only a handful of outside features. Tink, Honey Baby, Wiz GHerbo, MaxB, that is it. The fact that Wiz got a call when nearly everybody else got passed over tells you exactly where he sits in Fetty's personal pantheon. This is not a chart play, this is a thank you note dressed up as a song. This man just got out of federal prison after nearly 4 years, and the very first line he sings on this song is that he has never been in love until he met this person. He says it feels strange to him, but he is not complaining. That is not a normal opener for a love song. That is somebody who just got his entire life back, lost everything that he used to define himself by, and is processing how to feel anything at all. Then he reaches for the Superman and Lois Lane comparison. On the surface, that sounds simple, but think about it for a second. Superman is the most powerful person alive, and the one thing that can make him vulnerable is the person he loves. After 4 years where Fetty was systematically stripped of his cars, his houses, his label leverage, his routine, and even his ability to sing in the shower, choosing this image is loaded. He is saying the only thing left that can hurt him is feelings. Honey Baby comes in and matches the energy without softening it. She does not play a passive role. The whole chorus is literally a question. Is it real love, the type you would go to war for? He is not telling you it is, he is asking. From a man who just came home with nothing and is still figuring out what he is allowed to want, that question is the entire song. This was the lead single, and it is the most loaded song on the album, once you understand how it was made. Fetty Wap built the entire melody and cadence of this track inside his head while he was incarcerated. He told the Fader he was inspired by the imagery of champagne, a fresh shower, and the feeling of peace and power. He sat with that song in solitude for months. When he finally got home and walked into a real studio to record it, he did not call session vocalists. He called his sisters, Divinity and Ymanie. The women you hear singing on this song are his actual family, his real bloodline. Per Fetty's own quote on Artist 2 Artist, his grandfather was an apostle, his mother is a singer, his father plays drums, and his brother and both sisters sing. He grew up in a literal family choir, so White Roses is not just a love song. It is the album's family origin story dressed up as romance. Shy Boogs, Peoples, and Snoozy produced it. The track has a jazz feel, doo-wop elements, vocal syncopations layered carefully. Then in verse 2, he compares himself to Icarus, flying too close to the sun knowing it might destroy him. The music video was directly inspired by Ryan Coogler's film Sinners. He picked that on purpose. The whole record sounds like a man describing what freedom looks like after years of only imagining it. Most people are gonna miss this one. The opening line of Nasty goes 7 o'clock on the dot, drop top, cruising the streets. That is not a coincidence. That is almost word for word from Usher's Nice and Slow, released in 1998. Fetty did not just nod at it, he stepped directly inside that song's cadence and made it his own. Coming home after 4 years away and choosing to open a track with a vintage Usher rhythm is a deliberate move. He is connecting himself to a particular era of slow R&B that was already old when he first hit. Hitmaka produced the beat, and you can feel the early 2000s slow burn DNA threaded through the whole track. Fetty has said he made this song first and then immediately knew he needed a female voice on it. He called Tink, she delivered. She is not playing the passive partner. She is just as direct as he is. Both of them mean every line they sing. On an album that is mostly devotion, mostly memory, mostly walking carefully back into a life he lost, Nasty is the one moment where he just wants to be a person again. That is its own kind of statement. After everything he came home from, choosing to make a slow-grown sex record is a small declaration of normalcy. There's one line in this chorus that I keep coming back to. He says his heart is like his money, all his hundreds blue. Read that twice. Blue hundreds is slang for Benjamins, the most valuable cash in his pocket. So on one read, he is saying his love is the most valuable thing he has, but blue also means sad. Both of those readings work at the same time, inside the same bar, and neither one cancels the other out. It is small, but it is precise wordplay. Then in the verse, he talks about being down and writing letters, if you know how prison works. Being down and writing letters is exactly how you stay tethered to the people on the outside. He is not abstracting, he is describing what he was just doing for 4 years. Monty comes in from the same Paterson world. Per Fetty's own A2A quote, he met Monty at the Dominican parade in 2006 or 2007 through a homie's house party. That introduction is the reason Fetty Wap exists at all. The same Monty stepping on to In Love in 2026 is the same person who introduced him to Harrd and Nitty at Q Studio on Bunker Hill 20 years earlier. Monty's verse hits the same note as Fetty's, both men hoping she does not abuse a heart they have already had broken before. Two artists from the same block on the same record saying the same thing in different words. The voice that opens this track is not just a feature. Rob McCoy is Fetty Wap's actual brother. Per Fetty's quote on Artist 2, Artist, his brother and both of his sisters are on this album. He grew up in a literal family choir. His grandfather was an apostle who had his own church. His mother sings, his father plays drums. Rob is part of all of that. So when Rob opens Spot back with what sounds like a gospel-level plea, telling someone he wants to dry her tears and ease her pain, that is not stylistic mimicry. That is somebody who learned how to sing in a sanctuary. The title looks simple on the surface. He wants somebody to come back. But think about what Spot back means for a man who literally just walked out of federal prison having lost everything. His spot in music, his spot in his family, his spot in Paterson, his spot. Period. Coming home with no clothes, no place to stay, no cars left in his name. The entire album is in some way about reclaiming the spot he used to have. Rob carries the chorus and Fetty answers him in the verses, promising she will never have to cry with him. Two brothers from the same family choir on the same track, singing the same kind of devotion their grandfather probably preached on Sundays. You believe every word. Fetty has always had a gift for specific comparisons, and on this song, he goes all the way with it. Butter pecan ice cream, unwrap you like candy, now and laters. These are not generic love song images. These are specific tastes from a specific childhood, the kind of thing you grew up wanting and never quite getting. But the line that does the heavy lifting on this track is the opening. Before any of the sweet talk, he asks her if she thinks he is basic. Read that question through the lens of his career. Trap Queen made him a star, and almost immediately the consensus formed that he was a one-hit wonder, that the song was lucky, that the cadence would not survive. He spent the next decade getting buried by that narrative. His own A2A quote, "Nobody ain't, everybody forgot, no Fetty Wap there." So when he leans over to the person closest to him and asks, "Do you think I'm basic?" he is not asking about a relationship. He is asking about a self-image he has been trying to repair for 10 years. The sweet talk that follows the butter pecan and the candy and the head-to-toe devotion is not just sweet talk. It is the answer he wants to be true. He is making the case for himself, one specific image at a time. This is the most talked about track on Zavier, and for good reason. Fetty built it as an interpolation of Linger by the Cranberries from 1993. He raps the melody of the original directly into his own chorus and hides the song's title right inside his lyrics. Just know the love you left will always linger. The pushback was immediate when people found out he was touching this song. He told the fader, "People told me you don't touch that classic, but everybody loves it." He said he made it his own way while keeping their cadence in there to show honor to them. That word honor is doing a lot of work. He is not flipping a sample for clout. He is paying respect to a song that means something to him. And there is a deeper layer once you know the album's timeline. Fetty wrote this track entirely in his head while he was incarcerated. There's a moment in the verse where he talks about writing a letter he knows he will never send. Read that line again, knowing where he was when he wrote it. It stops being a romantic image and becomes something genuinely autobiographical. He spent 4 years writing letters in his head to people he could not reach. Some of those letters never went out because the mail truck stopped running. Fool for You is the album's most accessible song, and also one of its most private. Say when sounds like a smooth devotion track until exactly one line stops you cold. He says even if they take away his sight, he would still see her. Read that on its own, and it is a pretty image. Read it knowing his medical history, and it becomes the most personal moment on the record. Fetty Wap was born with congenital glaucoma. He lost his left eye as a baby. That is one of the most defining facts of his entire life and his entire image. The nickname comes from it. So when he places the possibility of losing his remaining sight inside a love song, that is not a poetic flourish. That is him measuring the size of his love against the most vulnerable thing he carries. Most artists in this lane would never put their actual physical fragility into a romance song. He does it once and he keeps moving. The rest of the track is devotion stacked on devotion, head-to-toe imagery. Promises you have heard 100 times before in slower R&B, but that single bar about his eye does something the rest of the production cannot. It turns a clean, well-built devotion track into something that sounds like a man trying to weigh his love against the worst thing that could happen to him. A promise from somebody who already knows what it means to lose something you never get back. This is Fetty in full confidence mode, no sadness, no reckoning, no looking over his shoulder. He says he does not do it because he has to. He does it because he can. And that bar hits a different kind of weight when you know the backstory underneath it. This is somebody who had a #1 debut album on the Billboard 200, watched almost everything around him collapse, did nearly 4 years in federal prison, came home with literally nothing, and now stands here saying, I'm still doing this on my own terms, and I do not owe anybody an explanation. He plants his flag right at the top of the track. He is from Jersey, way out the Rosecrans. That is his block. That is his geographic claim. And then there's one bar that quietly bridges both halves of the album, Give Them Real Love. Started with a friendship, hustler and lover in the same breath. That is the entire thesis of Zavier compressed into one bar. The album spends 17 tracks moving back and forth between street ledger and devotion ledger, and on this track, Fetty just says them out loud as the same thing. With it or what is him at his widest open, he is not asking permission, he is not apologizing. He is just saying, this city is still mine and daring you to say otherwise. This is the one I really need you to hear. MaxB served roughly 16 years in federal prison. Fetty Wap served nearly 4. Both of them are fresh out, and they linked up at the Breakfast Club one day, and the rest is history. Fetty has always been a vocal MaxB fan, and you can hear it on this song. The two of them sound like old friends trading bars. Fetty wrote this song specifically to channel MaxB's wavy style. His exact words have been quoted across multiple interviews. I'm about to sound like MaxB, and then I'ma make MaxB sound like the old MaxB. And honestly, he was not wrong. Fetty fully unlocks his inner MaxB on this hook. The untrained ear could legitimately think the chorus is MaxB singing it, but it is Fetty doing the impression. Then the actual MaxB comes in and the comparison locks. Two men with parallel histories, both home, both still here on the same record. The track is certified wavy. If you know that vocabulary, you already know what that means. On an album that is mostly Paterson and mostly family, BossDon is the one moment where Fetty reaches outside Paterson to grab somebody whose story rhymes with his. Two New Jersey artists, both having done their time, both refusing to disappear quietly. This might be the best collaboration on the entire project. Fetty locks his coordinates in tight on this track. The hook moves from Jersey to Rosecrans, Eastside Mz. He is bridging Paterson, New Jersey to Compton in a single bar. Then he drops his block, specifically 22nd Street, you know where I'm at. And the way he frames coming home is the line that sneaks up on you. He says he was down, now he is home. That is the bright side for a man who literally just walked out of federal prison having lost everything. That phrase is doing a lot. He is not flexing about being out. He is calling it the bright side. Like there is a darker side he is not showing you. There is also a 720 reference that lyric annotators have flagged as a McLaren 720S. Fetty has said in past interviews that at the height of his run, he had something like 37 cars and 10 houses. Most of that is gone now. His own A2A quote. Storage units got hit, all the cars gone. So when he name checks a 720S on this track, he is either describing a memory or describing a comeback purchase. But either way, the number cuts. Says Beats produced. The track is Fetty planting his flag on both coasts and reminding everybody he is still here in his block on the bright side of a story that almost ended 4 years ago. The title is the first puzzle. LYG stands for Love Your Girl. That is the name of the song he sampled. Hidden right in the title itself, the whole track is built on the Dream's I Love Your Girl from 2007, almost 20 years old, and Fetty did not just sample it. He stepped directly inside the original chorus and sang it his way. The Dream personally approved the use of the song. Fetty told The Fader his entire approach to music is that he does not like to recreate another version of a song. He kept the cadence and made the feeling more direct. Oskama Esteban is on this one too. He is a Paterson rapper from Fetty's circle. On an album that is mostly New Jersey features pulled from the same neighborhood roster, Oskama fits the thesis. The interesting thing happening underneath the surface of Lig is that the original song is itself a story of devotion to somebody else's girlfriend. Fetty is taking that exact framework and pulling it forward into his own life, his own promise, his own block. If you know the original Dream record, hearing Fetty's version is like watching somebody walk into a classic and rearrange the furniture without breaking anything. Same room, same mood, different person standing in the middle of it. That is the entire trick. He honors it by taking it seriously enough to use it. This is the heaviest track on the album. The chorus alone tells you where this is going. Cannot feel, cannot heal, cannot steal no more. 4 stages of being completely numb. That is not anger. That is what comes after the anger has already burned out. Hard Luck's verse is where it really breaks open. He runs through a list of people he has lost. Tiffy, Gree, Millie. He says they killed Gree in his wheelchair. Read that one again. Then he drops an image that just stops the room. Somebody was eating a chopped cheese when they got hit. A bodega sandwich. The most ordinary, safe, daylight thing you could possibly be doing, killed in the middle of it, and then his last bar lands like a hammer. The pills he popped were not perks. They were Fetty. Fetty as in fentanyl, not the rapper, the drug. Fentanyl is killing people in the same neighborhoods. Fetty came up in the same neighborhoods he is rapping about coming home to. And here on this track, Fetty Wap is sharing a song where his own street name has been turned into slang for the substance burying his community. I do not think most listeners catch that on the first listen. It is the album's quietest grief. Real Ones is the song the rest of the project is trying to outrun. Hard Luck just refuses to let anybody outrun it. This is the realest track on the album. Fetty pled guilty to federal drug charges and got 6 years. On this song, he takes you through every part of it. The courtroom, the prosecutors building a case, the moment he knew he was going away. He even calls out the person who snitched on him. But through all of it, his message is simple. He kept his mouth shut and he would do it again, even if it meant his life. That is not a flex. That is just how he is built. The bar that really lands is when he turns to his kids. He says fentanyl scares him. Fentanyl scares him. He is a father of 6. He just did 4 years on federal drug charges. And on the previous track, Real Ones, Hard Luck just used Fetty's own name as slang for fentanyl pills. His name turned into the thing that is killing the people he came up with. So when Fetty says fentanyl scares him while looking at his children, that is not just a clever bar. From a man carrying that paradox to prison and back, Fentanyl Scares Him is the only line on the entire album where he sounds genuinely afraid. The whole record is built on the idea that he is in control of his own redemption. This is the one moment where he admits there is something out there bigger than him in the very community he is coming home to. 7 minutes to close the album, split into 2 halves. The first half is pure memory. He runs through his whole life, the corner days on 12th and 22nd, counting up his first million from the backseat of a Mercedes the day he fell in love with Kavona. And then it turns, he talks about grabbing 30 bricks and putting that on his set. That is the most direct reference to his federal case on the entire album. GHerbo comes in with his own memory loop from Chicago, and the two of them just trade war stories without softening a single one, and then track 17 pivots into part 2. Dear Zavier, he keeps repeating one line, I think everybody forgot my name. The phrase loops until it stops sounding defiant and starts sounding like a man trying to convince himself. Per Fetty's own A2A quote, he used to see interviews about the 2010s and the 2015s and they would skip his entire era, as if he never existed. So he made a song where he says it out loud over and over until you hear it the way he heard it. Then he gives us his most direct quote about why this song exists. He told OK Player, it is just me telling myself, I am sorry for doubting myself. I wrote that while I was in solitary confinement for 6.5 months. The album ends with him saying Zavier, not Fetty Wap. Zavier is the name only the people who really know him use. We started this long form with that exact distinction. 20 parts and 7 minutes later, we land on it again. Welcome home.